Hello fellow modders! In the fourth episode of the Gripen build we are going to make some ordnance, bend some wires and add detail to the undercarriage. Starting with the fuel tank and the weapons. First I made the panel lines deeper and sharper. Then I assembled the main pieces, leaving the small details for later. Most of the tools and materials I use you can find linked in the description. To get rid of the seams in the tight areas, I used microfiles from Hobby Elements. The rest was taken care with sanding stick. I brushed away the debris left from the sanding. What was left in the panel lines was melted down with Mr. Cementes. Now it's safe to put the small details where they belong. I decided to give the AGM-65 more captivating appearance. For the task, first I glued a plastic rod where the clear parts from the kit should go. Next, I painted the area with gloss black, and while the paint was wet, I placed a piece of iridescent film on the rod end. To give the illusion that everything is behind glass, I encapsulated it within CA glue. Finally, I shaped and polished the head. Although it's not super accurate, I think it looks good. Moving on to the undercarriage. For guide I used 1/48 scale resin upgrade set and some pictures. To create the details I used copper wire, plastic stock, stretch sprue and some photo etch details. When I place the copper wires, I glue them with CA glue, every few millimeters. I will not show you every time I put glue, but now you know I do it quite often. Here I'm making a bracket to hold a couple of lines. On the other end there is some kind of box which I made of laminated plastic strips. I added another line parallel to this one before moving on. Here I made a harness by placing several wires on top of each other. To represent the wire ties, I used thin strips of self-adhesive aluminum foil. Next I made a detail that initially I thought was an actuator, but later realized that is some kind of pressurized vessel. To create the bay door closing mechanism, first I placed a bracket from photo etch set. Then I drilled holes so I can mount the bay door. On the door I marked the position of the photo etch bracket in the bay. And I made another bracket from plastic. I made the actuators and glued them only in the bay side. Moving on to the gear legs. First I drilled out the landing lights. Then I smoothed the surface with Mr. Cement S. Next I applied glossback paint. While the paint was still drying, I added photo etch oleo scissors and a few lines from copper wire. Back on the landing light, to make a shiny reflector I used Molotov liquid chrome. Now the main gear bay and legs look nice and busy. Of course, the front end received similar treatment. On the real aircraft, there are lines running between the gear leg and the gear bay, but in the kit the gear leg is attached to the gear bay. To overcome this issue and still have the lines, I decided to cut them where the gear leg sits. For the lines, I used 0.6mm soldering wire. Off camera, I made photo etch gear bay doors photo etch hinges. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe, because in the final episode we are going to paint, weather and finish this build. Until then, watch my other videos by clicking on the thumbnails. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy modeling!